Hi and welcome to my channel. Okay, so today we'll be learning how to make this granny square top, and the materials we'll be needing for this, we'll be needing a measuring tape like this one, and then I'm using a size 4mm hook. You can use any hook of your choice. Okay, you need a pair of scissors and also your darning needle. Okay, that will be all. And then the yarn I'm going to be using, I'm using a very lightweight yarn. Okay, and I'm using 7 colors. You'll be using 2 strands of the very lightweight yarn. Okay, you can also use a worsted weight yarn if that's what you have, or basically any yarn of your choice. Okay, so the next thing we need to do now to start making our top, we first of all need to make a magic ring. So you hold your yarn like that, twist it around, and then you pinch it together. As you can see what I'm doing, just follow the guidelines like that, and then you're going to put your hook through the circle there, and then pull up a loop and yarn over chain to lock that ring. Okay, so there we have our magic ring. The next thing now is to make 3 chains, which is going to stand as a double crochet. Okay, but I don't really like making chains. Okay, so I'm just going to teach you the method I use to make my starting double crochet. So you insert your hook through the ring. Okay, make a single crochet like so, and then you're going to insert your hook through the first loop of that single crochet, like as I'm doing. Pull through, insert on the top of that single crochet. So now you have 3 single crochets stacked on top of each other. So there you have it, your first double crochet. You can make 3 chains if you prefer. So now I'm going to make additional 2 more double crochets. Okay, and then there is the third one, 3. Now chain 2. Okay, and then we're going to make 3 more double crochets into the ring. Okay, so that's 1, another double crochet, which is 2, another double crochet, which makes it 3, and then we are going to chain 2 and make another 3 double crochets into the ring. 2 and then 3, chain 2 again and make 3 more double crochets, 2 and then 3. Okay, so what we have is going to be 4 sets of 3 double crochets with chain 2 in between. Okay, so we're going to chain the last 2, and then we're going to pull on that tail to close up that ring. Okay, pull tightly, and once you've done that, we are going to slip stitch to join to the top of that very first double crochet there. Okay, if you made chain 3 at the beginning, you're going to slip stitch to the 3rd chain there to join the round. Okay, so slip stitch to join, yarn over, chain 1, pull up a loop and cut off the yarn, and that way we are going to switch on to the next color. All right, so there you have it, that is our first round. So for the next round, we are going to be attaching our color into the chain 2 space after that tail where we fastened off before. Okay, so you attach your yarn like so. Once you've attached your yarn, then make your starting double crochet. Okay, which is 3 double crochets stacked on top of each other. You can also chain 3 if that is the method you prefer. Okay, so you chain 3 single crochets stacked on top of each other, and then we are going to make 2 more double crochets to complete it, 3 double crochet into that very same chain 2 space. So once you have 3 double crochets, you're going to chain 2, and then we'll make 3 more double crochets into that same chain 2 space, which is what we'll be making our corner. Okay, so 2 and then the 3rd one. Okay, so there you have it, that is our first corner. Okay, you chain 1, and into the next chain 2 space you're going to make another corner, which is making 3 double crochets. Okay, and then chain 2 and then make 3 more double crochets into the same chain 2 space. So that is our second corner. All right, and then you chain one. After each corner you chain one, and into the next chain 2 space you make the same thing. So that's what we are just going to repeat all the way around on each of the chain 2 spaces. So each of the chain 2 spaces you make a corner, and then until we get to the other side, and then we'll stitch to join. So now after making the corners, okay, which is a total of 4, you chain one and then slip stitch to join to the top of that very first double crochet in the first corner. Okay, chain one, pull up a loop, and then cut off that yarn, and there you have it for this round. So we'll be switching on now to our next color. So for round 3 we'll be attaching our new color into any of the chain 1 space. Okay, so put your hook through and then attach your yarn, and then make your starting double crochet, which can either be a chain 3 or 3 single crochets stacked on top of each other. Anyone you prefer is your choice. Okay, so I'm just making the single crochet stacked on top of each other, which is going to be my first double crochet. Okay, and then now we are going to make 2 more double crochets into the chain 1 space. Now the third double crochet into that very chain space. Okay, after that we chain 1 and then into the next chain, which is the chain 2 space of our corner. We are going to be placing a corner there, which is making 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets into the same chain space. Okay, so each time you get to a corner, we are going to be placing our 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into the same chain 2 space. Then you chain 1, and in a chain 1 space you're going to place only 3 double crochets into that space there. Okay, that's the third one. You chain 1 in the corner, you're going to place the corner stitch, which is going to be 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets into the chain 2 space. So that's just the pattern to repeat all the way around until you get to the end of this round. At the end of the row, after making your last corner stitch, you chain 1 and then slip stitch to the top of that very first double crochet there. Okay, so that's how to join the round. You slip stitch, chain 1, pull up a loop and cut off the excess yarn. Okay, and that's that for this round. Now we'll be moving on to the next round and also changing to a different color. So for round 4 we are going to be attaching our new color into any of the chain 1 spaces. Okay, so that's the chain 1 space I'm going to be attaching my new color to. So you just want to attach your new color like so, and then you're going to make your first double crochet stitch, mine which is 3 single crochets stacked on top of each other. You can do a chain 3 like I always say. Okay, so once you've done your first double crochet stitch, you want to make 2 more double crochets into that same chain 1 space. Okay, and that's 3 double crochets into the chain 1 space. You chain 1, and in the next chain 1 space you make another 3 double crochets into that chain 1 space. And now we are at the corner, so you chain 1, and then at the corner stitch there you place a corner stitch there. Remember, the corner is the chain 2 spaces, so you're just going to make 3 double crochets into the chain 2 space, chain 2, and then place another 3 double crochet into that same chain 2 space, and that is the corner stitch. Okay, so that's the third one. Now after you've made that, you chain 1, and then on the next chain 1 space you just make your regular 3 double crochets into the same chain space. Okay, and that is the pattern you want to repeat all the way around until you get to the other end of the row. Now at the end of the row you just want to chain 1 and then slip stitch to join that round. Okay, slip stitch to the top of the very first double crochet there, chain 1, pull up a loop, cut off the yarn, and that is what we have for this round. So that completes round 4. We'll be moving on to the next with our new color. Now for row 5 we are going to be attaching our next color into any of the chain one spaces by the side like so. So you attach your yarn and then you make your first double crochet stitch, which can also be a chain 3 if that's what you prefer. After your first double crochet stitch, you want to make 2 more double crochets into that very same chain space. Okay, so that's the 3rd double crochet there. After that, you chain 1 and then into the next you're going to make another 3 double crochets into the chain 1 space. Okay, and then that's the 3rd one. Then chain 1 and into the corner stitch we're going to be placing our corner stitch, which is making 3 double crochets into that same chain 2 space. You chain 2 and then place another 3 double crochet into the chain 2 space. Okay, that's the 3rd double crochet. And then you want to chain 1 and into the chain 1 space, which is next, you make 3 double crochets into that same chain 1 space. So you just repeat the pattern all the way around until you get to the end of the row. Now I've completed the round 5. Okay, so we're just going to make round 6 now, and to do that you attach your yarn into any of the chain 1 space, which is the new color of yarn, and then we are going to repeat what we did for the previous row. Okay, you make 3 double crochets into the chain 1 space. So I'm just doing my first double crochet, which is 3 single crochets stacked on top of each other, and now I'm going to make the 2nd double crochet and then the 3rd double crochet. Chain 1 and into the next chain 1 space you make another 3 double crochet into that chain 1 space. Okay, once you've done that, you chain 1 into the next chain 1 space, you make another 3 double crochet like so, the 3rd one, and then chain 1, and in that corner there you place our corner stitch, which is 3 double crochets into, and then make another 3 double crochet. Okay, so the remaining 3 double crochet, the last 3 double crochet. So you chain 1 into the next chain 1 space, you place 3 double crochet. In the next chain 1 space you also place another 3 double crochet. So that's just the pattern you have to repeat all the way around until you get to the end of the row. Now I have completed the round 6. Okay, so we are going to make round 7 now. So to do that, you attach your next color of yarn into any of the chain 1 space. Okay, just basically what we have been doing before. You attach your new color into a chain 1 space, you're going to make 3 double crochets into the chain 1 space and then chain 1, and then each of the next chain 1 space you place 3 double crochets into there, and then when you get to your corner you place your corner stitch there, which is 3 double crochet, chain 2, and then 3 double crochet into the corner stitch. Okay, so that's all you have to do, and repeat all the way around until you get to the end of the row. The end of the 7th row, okay, you want to slip stitch and join to the top of that very first double crochet there, and that is going to complete that round. So you slip stitch, chain 1, pull up a loop and cut off the yarn. So we'll be doing a total of 7 rows for this pattern. Okay, it measures about almost 7 inches across. Okay, if yours is not yet up to 7 inches or the size you want, you can keep making more rows. Okay, and then when you measure it diagonally like this, you have about 8.5 inches. So that is the size. So you can adjust the size, you can make it smaller or bigger to fit the size that you want. All right, it stretches as well, as you can see. Okay, so the next thing now is to weave in the ends. As you can see at the back here, there are a lot of yarn hanging around, so you just want to weave in, starting from that center part there. You take it, pull it tightly, and then use your hook to pick some loops from the back of your work like so, and then you want to use that yarn to make 2 chains and pull through to secure your work tightly so it doesn't come undone that way. The next thing is to take your needle, and we are going to pick some stitches from the back. I like to pick same color as the color I want to weave in. Okay, feed your yarn through the needle and pull through like that, and then you cut off the remaining excess. Okay, so you just want to repeat that for all the other yarns that you have hanging around. You pick the stitches, try as much as to pick same color as what you want to hide, and then feed it through the needle like so, and then pull through. Once you've done that, you cut off the excess. So you just weave in all the remaining parts of the tails that you have hanging around at the back of your work. After weaving in, your work is going to look very neat like so. Okay, so and then we are going to make 2 more of the granny square. Okay, so you have a total of 3 granny square for this project. Now you want to lay your work, as you can see. Okay, the 3 squares, arrange them in the order in which we are going to sew them together. Make sure they are the right side facing you. Okay, so you are going to sew along that edge, and then we are also going to sew along the other edge, and then they will both meet at the center. All right, so to sew the first part like so, you flip it the 2 right side facing themselves, and then the wrong side outside on the both part, and then we'll sew along that edge. Okay, so now I'm just going to take some yarn, same color as the outer color there, then I'm going to thread it through my needle and then tie the ends together. Okay, so you want to knot the end so that your work does not lose when you're done. So after you knot it like that, now we are going to use it to sew along that edge. Then we're starting from that chain 2 space in between, which is the corner stitch there. Okay, and we are picking only the back loops only of our work. So the first chain space there that is closest to the first double crochet, pick the back loop of that chain stitch, and then on the next back loop of the other chain stitch of the other square, you pick that one as well, and then you're going to sew it like so. Okay, and then on the next stitch, which is now the double crochet, you pick the back loop from there and pick the back loop from the other side, and then you sew. So you just keep picking each of the stitches across, picking only the back loops only. Okay, so you're just going to keep doing that and sew it all the way around to the end of the edge where we are joining. Okay, you can use any joining method you prefer. This is the joining method I prefer, so this is what I'm going to be using. Okay, so you just keep sewing around until you get to that edge. Now at the end of that row, okay, at that corner stitch there, I'm just going to pick only the first chain stitch there, which is to the last double crochet I sewed. So once you've done that, you now want to tie your ends together. This is what it looks like on the right side. Okay, so you just want to pass through and then tie that place so as to secure your work. Okay, so that's what I'm just doing. So once you've tied it like that, you're now going to weave in the remaining parts of the yarn. After sewing the other side, we are going to bring this other granny square and sew this end and meet at the center. Now after sewing that end together, okay, meeting at the center there, you can see I've sewed it. So now we are going to join the center part so that to close up that gap there. Okay, so you just want to flip your yarn to the back side, and then we are going to join that center, that chain 2 space from both sides. Okay, picking the back loops only like we've been doing. Pick the 2 chains and sew them together, and then you pick that very first double crochet from the corner stitch there, and then from the other side as well, and sew it. Once you've secured that part like that, we now want to tie our sewing. So you pick that very same stitch there and then you tie it like so. Okay, so after tying, the next thing now is to weave in that yarn inside. So I'm just going to do that real quick. So you weave in the end After weaving in, the next thing for you to do now is to then cut off the remaining yarn. Okay, so you cut off, and that's it. We have joined our granny squares to make the top. So this is how it's going to look like. Now after that, we are now going to make the straps. Okay, so to make the straps, you take the yarn that you're working with and we're going to fold it into 3 like this. So this is the first folding, and then you fold it again, making it 3 foldings. Okay, hold the first part where you have the starting point, and then at this end here where you have this loop, you want to pick in the other one there and pull it through the loop. As you can see what I'm doing in the video, this is going to keep making the 3 foldings, okay, to make the yarn thicker for the work we need. Okay, for me it is 6 strands. If you use only 1 strand, you're going to have just 3 strands of yarn. Okay, so we are now going to make our slip knots to start making the straps. Once you make your slip knot, you want to attach that slip knot to the top of that corner stitch there where we are going to make our straps. Okay, so you chain 1 to secure the yarn onto there and keep making chains. Just yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through until you have about 30 inch in length for the work. Okay, so for the straps I made about 30 inches. You can make yours longer if you prefer longer straps. Okay, so when you get to the end where you have that loop again, you just pick through another yarn and pull down again to continue making the yarn 3 strands or 6 strands as the case may be. So you just keep doing that until you have about 30 inches. So now I'm just going to measure the straps. Okay, measure it without stretching out the chain. Okay, because you don't want it to stretch. You can see now it's about 30 inches, so that is the length I want for the strap. So I'm just going to fasten off that place. So you draw up a loop and then cut that loop into 2, okay, and pull out the other side of the yarn and pull tightly to knot it. So that is our first strap. Okay, so we're just going to repeat the same thing for this other side of the work and then weave in the ends as well. So after making the other straps, this is what your work should look like. Okay, so you cross the 2 ends of the straps and attach it to the opposite ends of the granny square like so. So that is how you attach the straps. Okay, so this is what our work looks like. Also remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel and leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.